Welcome to Fiona's Food for Life YouTube channel, Cook, Eat, Nourish. We've got another interview lined up for you today. Make sure you listen to the end so you get their 3 tips to how you can cook today to become healthier. Please like and comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Hope you enjoy it. Good morning, Ilona, how are you?
Good morning, Fiona. How are you? I'm
Great.
fine, thank you.
Would you like to introduce yourself to my audience?
Yes, hi, I'm Ilona Madden. I'm a nutritional therapist and
Great. And your business is Right Food for You?
my business is Right Food for You and I'm based in Bray.
Fantastic. So would you mind telling me a little bit about your career to date?
Yeah, so I started really in that area in 2014. I studied first a health and nutrition coach. And then I really was so fascinated by the whole idea of the power of food, the transformation I've seen, and I just decided I have to go on. So I studied for another 3 years nutritional therapy. And while I was studying, I was also working in a weight loss clinic where I helped loads of people who had issues, who wanted to lose weight, but also people with diabetes. And I really gained great experience there.
Great. And where was that clinic? Would
That's
you like to mention?
in Dublin and in Loughlin.
Okay, great. And why did you choose to set up Right Food for You?
Okay, that's like many people, it's usually a personal story. So let's say my early 40s, I started the weight creeping up on me. The typical things, I tried to eat less and exercise more, but it wasn't working. Well, I wasn't actually exercising that much back then, but it wasn't working anymore. And I just by chance came across a friend of a friend who was studying nutritional therapy, and she was looking for case studies basically. So I said, I actually thought my diet was okay. I wasn't living on takeaways, I wasn't eating majorly rubbish, but I thought, out of curiosity. And the thing she found was that my blood sugars were all over the place, and it totally made sense to me, really made sense. So I was the person constantly hungry, the hangry person. So if I didn't get food, I would explode. I was very stressed, I was very anxious, I just wasn't in a good place. And I realized, I had no energy. Sometimes I would have to lie down in the afternoon, really, really wrecked. So the thing I noticed straight away once I implemented some of the things she suggested, that my energy levels came up, and that led me to, it's just more energy. I managed to exercise more. I managed to cook more from scratch at home because I had the energy. I wasn't floored to the ground when I came home in the evening. So it's just one thing led to the other, and the more I was exercising, the more I felt I needed to eat better. And so that change was so profound that I said, I have to share it. I can't keep that to myself. It was just so it's way too important to not share it, and I want to help other women, especially at that time, early 40s, where things aren't just as simple as straightforward anymore. And I really want to.
Great. And what offerings do you have at Right Food for You?
So basically it's a couple of things. So I have online programs where you are, you're fully supported in a closed Facebook group. So you get all the recipes, the shopping list, and then daily posts. So literally daily feed where how are you doing today? Maybe try out this, did you try that recipe? So that's over 4 weeks, and it's really, really supportive group, and people are sharing their experiences and so on. So that's the online thing. So that's something anyone can do from anywhere at any time, so you access the tips basically whenever. The other thing I do is small groups. I do 2 in the springtime, now end of January, and then again, before the summer, and then after the summer holidays. So small groups where this supportive element, where people are sharing their experiences and stuff, and really to get people help especially with the sugar cravings, kind of learning about foods, what foods do in your body and all of that. And again, it's so that's it with the people, with real people, not online, but that's what I do in Bray. And then the third thing is really the one-to-ones, where I see a client and I've set my programs over the space of 8 weeks, because that's how long it takes to create new habits. And I see them, first session is really, really long, where I ask loads of questions, where I try to find out about the person, the background, health history and all that. And then we meet again either once weekly or fortnightly, depending on the schedule, where we go over the week. What works, what didn't work, why, more exploring. So the programs are, there's no set program as such, and it's led by the actual client. So for some people, they already have a very good understanding of food or good diet, but need more fine-tuning. I can do tests, for example, where I find out, what is really causing it. But with some people, it's just kind of really simply getting them to cook again, and so it's really led by the client. There's a huge coaching element, where I give the encouragement, where I, help people find out for themselves as well, what's going on, why do I find it so hard to get myself cooking or eating healthy foods. So it's, and they're the most successful ones, obviously, because it's one-to-one.
Could you give me an example, or maybe my audience who mightn't be so familiar with nutritional therapy, an example of a typical client and how it would work?
Yeah, so one client, she just finished the program with me, very typical. And I know her well, so I know when she said she's eating hardly anything, I've seen her food diary, and she's in the gym, in the same gym as I was. She was eating barely anything anymore, and she was exercising really hard. So the common thing is, you just have to eat less and create a calorie deficit, and you have to work harder. So it was kind of put back on her, but she was very frustrated because she didn't see any results. And so she sat down with me, and from what she was telling me, she just wasn't absorbing her nutrients properly. I could see that. So we worked out a way of helping her absorb the food better. So by digestive aids, by foods that help with digestion better, and kind of really targeted nutrition. So while she was eating well, and that was the big frustration, she wasn't getting the right nutrients. She wasn't getting them. So now by helping her actually, getting the food, getting the protein properly absorbed and digested, within a short space of time, she noticed that she was feeling better. And the great thing was she, started losing weight. She started enjoying her exercise again, and I think the nicest thing was also when she said she just feels she's in a much better place herself. She was, and that's really what's driving me. When you see the success stories, and and it's not all about you have to eat salads only, and it's the right, and that's why I call the company Right Food for You. It's finding what is right for the person, for the individual. What nutrients are you missing maybe, or what you need more of, what you need less of.
Okay, great. And I know one of the areas that you're really passionate about is the whole sugar and sugar addiction.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk to us a little bit about that?
It's just, that's where I started myself, balancing the blood sugar, because I was constantly eating, constantly hungry, and then an hour later I was hungry again, and it's so I was eating a lot of pasta, I have to admit. And chocolate, I couldn't stop myself eating the chocolate. And I find that's something that I hear from a lot of clients, where they fall down, and that's kind of, I need to have something sweet after dinner. I just can't say no to dessert. When I start with a bar of chocolate, I can't say no. And that, you've just had a good big meal, and you still feel you need to eat something sweet after. And I just feel once we manage to, instead of that kind of sugar spike and then going up and down all day, which causes stress as well, if we can only get that balance by eating slow releasing carbs, avoiding the highly processed sugar, and getting, people then say to me, but life has to be balanced and you have to have some cake sometimes. And that's what I want to get to. Get rid of the cravings, get off this, I have to have it, and get a healthy relationship with sugar. So if you have an occasion with a birthday or family occasion, have that cake, but have the freedom to decide, I want it or I don't want it. Mm-hmm. Does that? Yeah. So that's kind of where I think but you have to be strict in the beginning and really, really get rid of the sugar cravings.
And how do you suggest people do that?
Yeah, exactly, by cutting it out. You have to cut it out for a certain while, to start with. I think a good example is most people, if they taking sugar into tea, that's a good, you've been taking, and then you challenge yourself for 2 weeks, 4 weeks not to put sugar in the tea, and then you try it again with the sugar, with the tea with the sugar, it just tastes horrible. So I think most people would agree that, or might have tried it. And it's the same with the sugar addiction. So if you've gone for a certain time away, not eating sugar at all and eating slow releasing carbohydrates and not just the white toast, for example, your taste buds change and you don't crave the sugar as much, and everything just tastes too sweet. So you don't actually like the really sweet things anymore. So it's not deprivation. Yeah. So you look at this cake that you couldn't have said no to before, and you look at it and you try it and it's like, no, it's just too sweet. And that's kind of how.
Yeah, because I know for me, when I was doing the renovation on the house 5 years ago, I used to, chocolate biscuit cake and Diet Coke used to be my weakness. And now I couldn't. I wouldn't eat I'd have a tiny piece, but it's just, I don't enjoy it.
You don't.
Too sweet.
Exactly, and that's it. So I think you need a certain period where you're very strict, and get the support. That's important as well. Have the support. Be very strict, and then it'll get easier, and then you can develop a healthy relationship again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me, I always ask my people in the interviews 3 tips that you would give to help improve the health of the nation. So from your angle as a nutritional therapist who's passionate about the whole sugar addiction, what 3 tips would you give us?
Yeah, so obviously, it is the number one is get your blood sugar under control. So you can do that by completely cutting out all the refined sugar, eating slow releasing carbs, and combining protein, a little bit of protein with every meal. That helps bring down the sugar won't be released as quickly. But the one thing where I really found a big breakthrough was fasting. So intermittent fasting, of not eating 12 hours, at least 12 hours. So after your dinner, you have your dinner at 7, you don't have your breakfast till 7 in the morning. So it does a couple of things. It actually taps your body, it teaches your body to use the fat reserves again. It gives it time to heal. Apart from the practical side of people, if you suggest that to anyone, they don't snack after dinner anymore, so that's a very practical thing. But if you can extend that up to 14 hours or 16 hours, you just don't feel the hunger anymore, you don't feel the cravings. And like a few years ago, there was no way I could have gone without breakfast. Absolutely not. Now I have no problem. I wake up in the morning, do my exercise, whatever, and I eat at some stage, but I'm not this kind of, have to have breakfast. So, and I think that's what intermittent fasting is teaching, is showing your body. So that would be number one, blood sugar balance, intermittent fasting. So that's already 2, sorry.
That's okay.
And the second one was because I'm so passionate, I'm also really big into art and, paint myself. It's the colours, and I'm not talking Skittles, some people say, or Smarties, the colours in your food. And I mean, just if you look at it, I always say eat the rainbow. Or try to have at least 3 colours in your meal. It just looks visually so much nicer. That gets you to eat more vegetables, more, fruit, but really focus more on the vegetables. Get the variety try out new vegetables. I think we're so always eat, the same thing. So really eat the rainbow, get all the colours in. And then number 3 is cook from scratch. What you say, and it's the key, I find, because you have control over what you eat. It's so much food has really bad fats, the kind of fats that are causing a lot of issues, sugar. Everything is full of sugar, whether you're in the jars, and you just have, when you cook from scratch, you have control, you have a better relationship to your food, and you don't have to, it doesn't have to be complicated recipes, and I find a lot of people have this fear of even trying out new things, like, oh no, I haven't had time to try out a new recipe yet, but just try it and you see it only takes 10 minutes. But I say it doesn't have to be, just put some meat or fish or something under the grill, put, roast some vegetables or steam some vegetables, a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt. It's not complicated. Yeah. But the thing is, and I have to say that, for your credit as well, by trying out the recipes, by seeing them done, it's so much easier. You gain the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
But you also gain the confidence that when you have nothing, or you think you have nothing in your fridge, and you go through the things and, oh, I remember Fiona added the Bragg's amino, for example. That's a staple for me now, if you add that, anything tastes nice, or have a bit of, whatever, bacon and some veg, and it's because you've tried the recipes, then you have better ideas of, you don't look in the fridge, oh, there's nothing there, I have to go to the, freezer and eat it. So I think that's really, blood sugar balance, eat the rainbow, and cook from scratch.
Fantastic. Yeah, they're great tips. I do the intermittent fasting all the time as well, and I find I really like it. So what I try and do is eat my dinner at about 6-7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then it does mean you don't have anything after dinner, but I'm never one really to sit in front of the TV and munch, but it does help.
It does help.
And then I'll usually have the breakfast 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And the cook from scratch, obviously that's plenty of recipes on our website.
It's so vital, and I think even if I could get more people to doing that, I think that alone would, for many people, already solve so many health and energy issues.
And also, it doesn't have to be one effort. So let one effort work for several meals and freeze it or keep it in the fridge or have it for lunch. So that you're not spending too much time in the kitchen, really.
No, not really. Yeah.
So Ilona, what's next for Right Food for you?
Okay. I have set myself a maybe big goal, but I like big goals. So for 2020, I set myself the goal. I want to help 100 people get rid of their sugar cravings.
Fantastic.
And I do that by offering a free call, so free 30-minute session with me on the phone. We go through a few bits and pieces. I'll ask you a few questions, but then I give you 3 tips that you can implement straight away and get started. So that is my goal. People can get in touch with me through my website, so you can book the call straight away on the website. So there's a few times and dates open. Book them, and please help me get the 100 people. So if you're one of somebody who really struggles with not
sugar
being
addiction.
It's sugar addiction, that's actually it, not being able to say no to the dessert or cakes or whatever, give me a call.
Great. And I always like to ask people, what would their last meal be? So what would your death meal be?
Okay. Well, it has to be in South Africa because I've been going there on holidays, so I don't know if I'll be in prison in South Africa or whatever. But that's where I got really, really good food. And in South Africa, they're really big into their low carb. So, the way like we have vegan or whatever gluten-free, they have low carb, or banting they call it. It's it's similar like keto diet, but low carb. But there's one restaurant, so I have to order it in from the restaurant. They do oysters, baked oysters with a garlic blue cheese sauce, and it's divine. I know.
You'd hardly taste the oyster with all that.
Yeah, probably sacrilege to oyster ears. No, they are just divine. They're nice oysters. So, and then I don't mind what kind of fish, but in South Africa they have really these exotic fish, you know, and they prepare them whatever the spices they use and beautiful veg, and you know, it's just I haven't had a bad meal there. And then for dessert, there is this restaurant, and they do the most divine macadamia nut brownies. Now there is sugar in them, but only little, you know, it's more than the nuts, I think. And the chocolatey cake. No, I'm dreaming of it. Yeah. So
great. And would you have anything to drink with that?
Oh yeah, South African red wine, or yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Great for the tourism in South Africa.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling my audience how they can get in touch with you if they'd like to? Now, we will put all the links in the description below, but fire away.
Yeah, so my website is called Right Food for You. So it's the number 4 U, rightfoodforyou.ie. And that's my email is on that, so it's Ilona at Right Food for You. And I'm also on Facebook with the same name, Right Food for You.
Great. Okay, fantastic.
Great. Well,
thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Fiona.
Great.
Thanks,
I hope you enjoyed that video today with Ilona Madden from Right Food for You. Please like and comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Why not check out my other videos like the labneh cheesecake, I know it's Ilona's favourite dessert, or one of my quick meals like the prawn and aubergine curry, so it's easy to cook from scratch. Thanks a million, we'll see you soon.